We're going to call this meeting to order. And our first item is approval of the agenda, and then I have some remarks to read. Pardon? I got that. Yep. Moved by Dan Meek, seconded by Bill Everett, that Fran Smith act as chair for the April 13th, 2023 meeting. If you want me to do this, all those in favor? Carried. I can be replaced. All right, now, just some opening remarks. We are doing a hybrid, which is in person and virtual for the Committee of Adjustment today. Just so everyone's aware, members of the public may join in person or virtually on that screen. For those of you who may be new to the Committee of Adjustment, my name is Frances Smith and I'm the chair of the committee for this meeting. And we'll have councillors introduce themselves, starting over here with Lynn.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Lynn Clagus, councillor for Ward 1, Kennebec District.
Hello, I'm Susan Irwin, and I'm the councillor for Oso, District 3.
I'm Dan Meeks. I'm a councillor, District 2.
Bill Everett, Olden Ward.
And I guess I should say that in the council life, I'm the mayor, since it didn't say that. All right, Cindy Diekman will be assisting us with the meeting. She's our host, and Chris beside her will make sure that our technology works the way it's supposed to. The format of the meeting will be to follow the agenda that's posted online. Staff have also prepared presentations to everyone to follow along with during the meeting, and this will be shown on that screen. For each application with a public hearing, we will have a format that is, I will introduce the file so that everyone knows where it is on the agenda. The planner will provide an overview of the application. We'll then ask if there's any comments from the applicant or their agent, and then committee members may ask questions of the applicant or the agent. The public will then have an opportunity to ask questions or provide comments, and I encourage the public to ask questions if there's any doubt in your mind about an application. The committee will then deliberate and vote on the application. Voting will take place by members of the committee raising their hands or verbal confirmation if attending online. We don't have any committee member online. Okay, all members of the public will have an opportunity to provide comments on the new applications. If a person or public body does not make an oral submission at the meeting or make a written submission to the township before a decision is made, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. Please note that as of January 1st, 2023, only persons specified in the Act are permitted to appeal consent and minor variance applications. Township staff will be in touch following the meeting and will be forwarding a copy of the decision within 15 days to the applicant and anyone who is requested to be notified. Should you have any questions after the meeting, we encourage you to reach out to staff. The applicant, the minister, or any prescribed public body who has an interest in the matter may, within 20 days of making the decision or date of notice appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal against the decision of the committee by filing with the secretary treasurer of the committee a notice of appeal. I'll now ask Cindy to provide an overview of how members attending virtually can participate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once the meeting is open to the public, the chair will ask if anyone has questions or comments. Members of the public who are attending virtually will be asked to use the raise hand feature at the bottom of the screen. This alerts us that you would like to speak. Staff will then notify the chair that someone would like to speak, and we will proceed to unmute your microphone. Sometimes this takes a few seconds to take effect. You will receive a notification that your microphone has been unmuted. Please wait a second after unmuting your microphone before speaking. We are having some issues with our sound system. It's working right now, but in the event that our sound system does not function properly, please use the chat feature. I'm going to leave it open. If there's anyone who needs to speak and we can't hear you, then we'll please use the chat feature to let me know. If there's anyone calling in by phone, I don't believe that there is, but if anyone is calling in by phone, you use the *9 feature when you would like to raise your hand. This will give you a prompt on the phone that you've raised your hand, and you'll be notified when the microphone has been unmuted. This afternoon, we have one member of the public participating.
Thank you, Cindy. In the unlikely account that our connection goes down and we cannot restore it within 15 minutes, the meeting will be postponed and staff will be in touch with each applicant. A notice will also be posted on the township social media, letting everyone know. So those are sort of the housekeeping things. Any questions or comments from anyone on those? If not, we'll move on to a motion by Bill Everett and seconded by Dan Meeks that the agenda be adopted as, are there any amendments? As presented? All those in favor? Carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in general nature thereof of any item on tonight's agenda by any member of the committee? None noted. We'll put that in the minutes. Motion moved by Bill Everett, second by Dan Meeks, that the minutes of the March 9th, 2023 minutes be adopted. Any discussion or corrections to the minutes? Seeing no hands, all those in favor? Carried. All right. We are at no deferred items. Applications for consents, we have none. Application for minor variance. Our first one is A0223 Olson, which is deferred. Jenny?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an application that was submitted for the construction of a new garage with a footprint of 93 square meters to be located approximately 45 meters from the high water mark of Sharbot Lake. The existing accessory structures, which is a detached garage, has a footprint of 35.6 square meters or about 383 square feet. The variance for this application was to permit a total accessory structure footprint greater than 93 square meters as per the bylaw. So on the screen right now is the sketch that was submitted by the applicant. So you can see the lake is to the right-hand side of this image. The red outline box here is the garage proposed location. And noted with the dash green line is a rock cliff or ledge that is present on the property. So this application was circulated for review by the Conservation Authority as it is on the waterfront. And one of the concerns expressed by the Conservation Authority was the setback of the proposed garage to this rock cliff. They had some concerns with regards to slope stability, which is always a concern when looking at new construction to ensure that new construction doesn't impact either water body or any existing construction. In this case, I believe the concern is that it would destabilize and perhaps fall down and impact on the other existing structures on the property. This property also has an existing septic system. The application was not circulated for review to the Septic Approval Authority as there's no plumbing proposed in the garage and the location for the garage is not near the septic system. So as I noted, Mississippi Valley Conservation Authority did review this and noted that the location is within the erosion hazard area due to the location at the top of the slope on the property. The Conservation Authority proposed two options to address this situation, either requiring a relocation of the proposed location to a minimum setback of 11.6 meters from the top of the slope. That may be challenging on this property owing to that's almost the distance from the top of the slope to the rear lot line. Alternatively, the applicant could prepare a slope stability analysis to determine if reducing the setback to that which is proposed in the original application is possible and safe on the property. That usually involves looking at, is it a granite outcrop or bedrock of some sort and that type of things. So those were the two options that the Conservation Authority gave to address that hazardous situation. These comments were provided to the applicant, who at this point is not looking at doing that slope stability analysis, and also asked for a deferral to reevaluate options and potential proposals that could come in. So the recommendation is that committee hear any comments from the public today, if there are any, and defer this application until an alternative can be determined on the property.
Thank you, Jenny. Is the applicant with us today?
Yeah,
Okay. So Gord, what do you have to say? The red button or yellow button? Is it white?
There we go. Thank you for hearing me today. MBCA came out today to visit me and look at a secondary location on the property. And they think it's more promising than the first one. I'm also looking at scaling down the building to fit into the slope requirements that they might have. So as of right now, it's in their hands and I'm waiting to hear back from them.
Okay, so you do think there is a fix?
Yes,
Okay, so if we defer this, it will come back next meeting? Probably if the reports are in and.
Maybe next meeting, we'll have to see what the outcome of the discussions are. We'll bring it back at whatever's the next one available once a decision has been made.
So if you make some changes and Mississippi's happy, it should come back
correct.
because you're probably ready to get building with this nice weather.
Yes, hopefully it stays.
Okay, is there any comments from the public?
If there's anyone from the public that wishes to speak, please use the raise hand feature. I think that Doran is an applicant. There's no one, Madam Chair.
Any members of the committee with questions, comments? Okay, seeing none. I'll read the motion moved by Dan and seconded by Bill. In making the decision upon this application, the committee considered whether or not the variance and permission requested was minor and desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land, building, or structure, and that the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw and the official plan will be maintained, or in the case of a change in the use of property which is lawfully non-conforming under the bylaw as to whether or not this application has met the requirements of subsection 45(2) of the Planning Act, concur in the following decision and reasons for decision. That minor variance application A0223 Olson for the property located at part of lot 11 concession 10 in the geographic township of Olden be deferred until the concerns expressed by Mississippi Valley Conservation Authority have been addressed. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Carried. All right, good luck. Hopefully we'll see you back next month. We'd like to get building started quickly.
Yeah, you can come up, Brian.
Okay, application A0323 Swift. Jenny.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is also an application for the construction of a new garage on a waterfront property. This property is on Big Clear Lake and is accessed by Willett Lane. The proposal for this garage is to have a footprint of 63 square meters or approximately 690 square feet. And its proposed location is approximately 73 meters from the high water mark of Big Clear Lake. As you can see on the image on the screen, the location proposed for the garage is shown in yellow. And will be on the north side of Willett Lane from the existing development and the shoreline. There's an existing accessory structure, another hobby workshop garage type building located closer, approximately 30 meters from Big Clear Lake, has a footprint of 88.5 square meters. So is the maximum permitted footprint on a property for accessory structures is 93 square meters. The addition of the garage north of Willett Lane would put this total over that 93 square meters. Planning staff would like to note that the lot coverage is a permitted 5% maximum for the entire property. The addition of this proposed garage to the existing accessory structures will bring the total lot coverage for accessory structures to 3.3%. So they are under the percentage of lot coverage, but they are over the permitted maximum footprint. Planning staff would also like to note that the 1 meter side yard shown for this accessory structure does meet the minimum requirements for side yard setback. And the 5 meters north of Willett Lane, again, these are approximate to ensure that the applicant can locate the garage in an area that is more level as the property slopes more steeply down towards the lake on the south side of Willett Lane. This application was circulated for review to Quinte Conservation Authority. They have no objections to the application as submitted. They have no concerns with regards to natural hazards. So they noted there are slopes on the property, but the location proposed is not within any identified slope or erosion hazard area. And as the proposed garage is located greater than 45 meters from the high water mark of Big Clear Lake, it's outside the regulated area for Quinte conservation. And so no conservation authority permit will be needed prior to any building permit issuance. Again, this one was also not circulated for a review for septic approval, again, as there's no plumbing in the garage proposed. And the location for the garage is nowhere near the existing septic system, which is located south of the lane in proximity to the dwelling. There was no formal public comments received. However, there was an email inquiry from one of the neighbors, I believe, regarding some of the potential design of the structure and what the proposed construction timeline was as to when they would be building. The applicant was in touch with this person who had questions, and my understanding is all the answers have been provided and there are no outstanding concerns with regards to the neighbors or the comments. Planning staff are recommending that the committee hear any comments from the public today and approve the application as submitted, subject to conditions in the planning report, such as construction as proposed in drawings applications, no impacts on neighboring lots, sediment control, no alterations to drainage patterns, fairly standard requirements for construction on the waterfront.
Do you have anything to add, Mr. Swift?
No, nothing to add. I think the application was duly reviewed and I'm fine from the standpoint of any of the standards or requirements as it relates to the construction.
Okay. And often just talking to the neighbors to let them know what's happening as part of what the requests are, or the inquiries, eh? Anyone online that wishes to speak to this application?
If there is anyone online, please use the raise hand feature. Again, we just have the one
Okay.
door. So there's no
All
one.
right. Questions, comments from the members? Okay, seeing none, I will read the motion. It's a little longer. Moved by Lynn and seconded by Susan. In making making the decision upon this application, the committee considered whether or not the variance requested was minor and desirable for appropriate development or use of the land, building, or structure, and that the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw and the official plan would be maintained, or in the case of a change in the use of property which is lawfully non-conforming under the bylaw, as to whether or not this application has met the requirements of subsection 45(2) of the Planning Act, concur in the following decision and reason for decision. That minor variance application A0323 Swift for the property located at part of lot 15, concession 10, geographic township of Kennebec, 1124 Willett Lane, to allow for an increase in lot coverage in order to build a new garage with a footprint of 63 square meters, 690 square feet, be approved subject to conditions and reasons noted in the planning report. And that the Secretary Treasurer shall issue the notice of decision in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act, including providing the notice of decision to the applicant, any person or public body that made a written request to be notified, and any other person or public body prescribed. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. There we go. Thank you for coming.
Your turn, Mike.
Cruz, is that how you pronounce that?
Cruz. Mike Pearson.
Who's the agent? Okay. So Mike, you're the agent for the applicant? Okay. Jenny, how do you pronounce that? A0423 Cruz?
That would be my best guess.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. This is a third application for the construction of a garage on a waterfront property. This one is at 1063 Campbell Lane and has frontage on Eagle Lake. So the proposal for this garage is to have a
Well, it's for them. All you expect. So, oh, yeah. All right, so as I said, this is the construction of a garage with a footprint of approximately 81.3 square meters, or about 875 square feet. This will be located north of Campbell Lane. which is essentially the driveway that's on this property, approximately 102 meters from the shoreline of Eagle Lake. There's an existing sleep cabin with a footprint of about 25 square meters or 275 square feet. And that combined footprint will put the total accessory structure footprint over the permitted 93 square meters. Again, the over footprint will be over what's permitted, however, for the subject property, again, 5% lot coverage would be permitted on this property. These two structures combined based on the lot size would equal to 0.25 of 1% of lot coverage. So there's not a lot of concern with regards to overbuilding of structures on the shorefront. This was circulated to Rideau Valley Conservation for comments. They have no objections as to they noted there were no organic soils or marine clays or anything like that. There were some slopes on the property, but the location close to the garage was not a concern with regards to natural hazards or any erosion. Again, this was not circulated for a septic review as there's no plumbing and the location is not near the existing septic system. There's no public comments received regarding this application. Planning staff are recommending hearing comments from the public and approve the application submitted subject to conditions in the planning report, which will be the same as the previous one with regards to construction on the property.
Okay. Our applicant is online. No, yes. Okay. Oh, I thought it was somebody else. He's online. Okay. So, Mr. Agents, do you have anything to add to the comments?
I do not.
Okay. And is there any member of the public who has something to say that they can text?
I'm going to say no because we only have the application, the next application.
Okay. Any member of the committee, questions or comments? Philip?
Wanted to know the rules.
It sure is. This is the one. Like there's one of them that I copied it over and got the legal description wrong.
Okay, but it's right on here. Part of the east half of lot 30 in section 3.
Yeah.
We're at part of 10.
Yes.
That's not.
Oh, right.
I know. Yeah, it's because, yeah, when I was doing them, I was like, that's weird, we've got the same one. That's been quite, but it does happen, it's different, right? So I was like, okay, now. I check it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so there's no other questions or comments. I will read the motion. Moved by Susan, seconded by Nan. In making the decision upon this application, the committee considered whether or not the variance requested was minor and desirable for the public development or use of land, building, or structure that the general intent, purpose, zoning bylaw, and the official plan would be maintained, or in case of change in the use of property which is lawfully non-conforming under the bylaw, as to whether or not this application is met requirements except section 45(2) of the Planning Act concur in the following decision and reasons for decision. That minor variance application A0423 approves for the property located at the east half of lot 30, in section 3, part 10, in the geographic township of Innsbruck, 1063 Campbell Lane, to allow for an increase in lot coverage in order to build a new garage with a footprint of 81.3 square meters, 875 square feet, be approved subject to the conditions and reasons noted in the Planning Act, and that the Secretary Treasurer shall issue the notice of decision in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act, including providing the notice of decision to the applicant, any person or public body that made a written request to be notified, or any person or public body prescribed. All those in favor? Carried. All right. That part is done. Now the work begins.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
No, Joe, that was right. Like that was super on the fence.
All right, it's an existing. Okay, so the next one is A0623 Doran and Jenny.
Thanks, man. No, that's okay. Sonia online, she can hear us not as well. But if you want to move it up, well, definitely anything else. Yeah.
Go on.
There, perfect. Like very much. Yes.
Can you hear us better that with the owl moved?
I haven't moved over for speaking, but I did send them a message asking if you can hear. What I will do as well is go ahead and move them over.
I sent them all. Or whatever to say that might not be great. So we're all there.
Mr. Doran, can you hear us?
Yeah, it's a little muted, but I can hear.
All right, I will try and yell loudly so everyone can hear. Yeah, Sonia also said as long as you speak up. All right. This is an application for permission to expand an existing legal non-compliant structure. The existing legal non-compliant structure is a sleep cabin located approximately 10 meters from the high water mark of Crotch Lake at 1097 Crotch Lake Trail is the subject property. As you can see on this, the sleep cabin to be enlarged is shown in the red circle. This property has some decent slopes for the driveway and parking area near the lane at the so it's kind of a sideways shot closest to the lane. And then there's stairs that lead down to the cottage and the sleep cabin area. The existing footprint of the sleep cabin is 4.5 square meters, so 38 square feet, not a huge one. The proposal is to demolish, reconstruct and enlarge that sleep cabin for a total reconstructed footprint of 34.5 square meters, about 323 square feet. There's a maximum of 400 square feet permitted in the zoning bylaw for a sleep cabin, so the proposal is still under the maximum footprint permitted for a sleep cabin on a waterfront property. And again, this is permission to expand that structure. The reconstructed and enlarged bunking will not be any closer to the water than the existing one. So it's 10 meters now. It will maintain that minimum 10 meters setback to the high water mark. So this application was circulated for review to Windy Conservation. They have no objections to the application as submitted. Again, no natural hazards concerned as the location proposed is on the identified slope on the subject property. That slope is in behind the cottage and leads up to the parking area at the rear of the property. As the sleep cabin is located within 45 meters of the high water mark of Crotch Lake, Windy Conservation will require a permit to be issued before any demolition, destruction, or site alteration can take place, and before any building permit is issued through the township. This was not circulated for review by the septic approval authority. The approval authority does not require performance reviews for either new or enlarged sleep cabins. And presenting staff would like to know the property is currently serviced with a holding tank. And the intent is that there's no plumbing to be in the sleep cabin, I believe, and the sleep cabin will be used, they will use the facilities in the existing cottage, similar to the current situation. There were no comments received from the public regarding this application. Planning staff recommendation, hear any comments from the public if there are any today, and approve the application as submitted, subject to conditions in the planning report. Which are similar as the previous construction as proposed in the drawings, no adverse impacts, sediment control of construction, no alterations to natural drainage patterns.
Okay. Does the applicant want to add anything to Jenny's comments and report?
Nothing to add on this end.
Okay. Any member of the committee have any questions or comments of the applicant? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion moved by Lynn and seconded by Susan. In making the decision upon this application, the committee considered whether or not the variance requested was minor and desirable for the appropriate development or use of land, building, or structure, and that the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw and the official plan will be maintained, or in the case of a change in the use of property which is lawfully not conforming under the bylaw, as to whether or not this application met requirements of subsection 45(2) of the Planning Act, concur in the following decision with reasons for decision. The permission application A0623 Thorn for the property located at part of lot 7 in section 5 in the geographic town of Kennebec, 1097 Crotch Lake Trail, to allow for the reconstruction and enlargement of a sleep cabin located approximately 10 meters, 32.8 feet from the high water mark of Crotch Lake. The existing sleep cabin has a footprint of 4.5 square meters or 48 square feet. The proposal is to enlarge the sleep cabin by 30 square meters, 222 square feet, for a total footprint of 34.5 square meters, 371 square feet, with no alteration to the existing water body setback. Be approved subject to the conditions and reasons noted in the planning report, and that the Secretary of Treasury shall issue the notice of decision in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act, including providing a notice of decision to the applicant, any person or public body that made a written request to be notified, and any other person or public body prescribed. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. Crystal will get back to you with the conditions, and they're all set to go. Okay. All right. Any other planning issues? Nope. I have, and does the committee have anything? Seeing none, I have a motion moved by Lynn and seconded by Susan, that this meeting be adjourned until 4 p.m. April 13th, 2023, virtually. Pardon? Oh, she was asking that. Oh, you can't talk when I'm reading. That this meeting be adjourned until 4 p.m. April 13th, 2023, virtually and in person at Oso Hall here at Street Chevrolet. All those in favor? Carried. We are adjourned. Yeah, you can talk. That's why. Like, I was